Welcome or welcome back to my channel, Midnight Makes. This is my little corner of the internet where I talk about my knitting, crochet, cross stitch, sewing, and whatever other crafty hobby I happen to be up to at the time. My name is Denali. Today's going to be, instead of separating out my June sewing makes, my June cross stitching, and the knitting that I've been up to over the past 3 weeks, I am going to just do it in one episode, one video, one crafty journal, whatever. We just got back from vacation last week, about a week ago today, and we had fun. My son and I had a blast. My mom went with us, and we did a bunch of stuff, fun stuff in Michigan, and then saw a bunch of family, and then we took my aunt and we went up north into the UP and did a bunch of fun stuff up there. However, one of the things that happened, which is why I am standing for this little journal episode, is a couple days before we left, we were at the park swinging, having fun. I was swinging with my cousin's girls and my son, and the swing broke, except for it didn't actually break. The part of the swing that connects from the swing seat to the chain actually came apart. I happened to be fully back, and so I fell straight down. Got the wind knocked out of me, was in pain, was sore for the next couple of days. Then we came home, and the flights were awful on my butt. And I, a couple days after we got home, called my doctor and got in for an x-ray, and turns out I have literally broken my butt. I have a hairline fracture in my pelvis, which is everything is connected down there. It holds everything, and it really hurts to sit right now. Hurts to stand too, not as much when I'm standing, but sitting hurts, walking hurts, going up and down stairs hurts. So we are surviving. I'll be fine eventually, but until then I'm in a little bit of pain, and I have been doing quite a bit of crafting while standing up, which is why I'm going to be doing this podcast standing up. And I apologize if I move a lot. When I am sitting in a chair, it's easier to control my jerky movements. Not so much when I'm standing. So, that's my update, my life update. Again, I'm fine. I'll be fine. It's just going to take some time to heal. Anyways, so like I said, I'm going to combine everything that I've done lately in one video, because my computer is down here that I edit on, and I am going to have to sit. My husband does work for a whole medical company and got me some cushions, which make it a little bit easier to sit, but it still hurts. So I don't want to have to edit too much. And I also, if I'm going to have to film 3 different video updates, it's just not going to happen. So, what I will do is I will separate my knitting, crochet will be in one part, my cross stitch in another, and my sewing in another. And, I'll put timestamps maybe on the screen. If they're not on the screen, they'll be in the description box, so that if you only want to see if you're not interested in one of the things, you can skip. Let's start with knitting and crochet. So, if you watched my last knitting update, I had 3 projects that I was going to take with me to Michigan. And I had already started the bed jacket from Squidney Knits. Cindy Craybaugh, I believe her married name now is Rosewick. But her patterns are only available on Patreon. So you have to be in her Patreon. And she did a 1940s bed jacket. This is not finished. I've done the knitting part, but I ran out of thread when sewing the sleeves up. My yarn end was way too short, so I need to attach that. I still need to weave in all of the ends and then wash and block it. So this is not a finished object, but it looks so amazing. I love this lace pattern combined with the 2x2 ribbed yoke. So pretty much flying to Michigan, and anytime we were driving anywhere or just sitting around, which we didn't do a lot of while I was there, but anytime that we were sitting around driving, I worked on this. So this will be a fun little reminder of the trip. And as you can tell right here, we were up north in the UP, and I think we were driving from Sault Ste. Marie over to Whitefish Point, and we went down to Tahquamenon Falls, and I put it down. When I picked it back up, I forgot which row I was on, and I missed the garter stitch row on this, and I did not realize it until the evening after, when we were sitting in the hotel room in St. Ignace, and it was late at night. I was like, at that point, I was like up here, and I was just not going to go back and rip it. So I'm going to leave it, and it's a fun little reminder of our trip to the UP. But yeah, I love this, and it will definitely be a finish in my next episode. But for now, it still needs a little bit of... This sleeve is done with the sew up. I just have to attach one more little tiny piece to sew up this like 1.5 inch long space, and then weave in all the ends. The yarn for this is the plane going over. The yarn for this is Drops Cotton Merino. I did not bring any of the tags in or the extra yarn that I had, but I wanted to try their Cotton Merino blend, and I really like it. It's not as itchy as wool is. I'm not sensitive to wool, but sometimes I have sensory issues where wearing itchy wools just doesn't work for me. So I was excited to try this one, and I really like it so far. The only problem that I had was while I was knitting it, I did notice it split a lot. I talked about it in my last knitting episode, but it was very splitty, and I had to, go back and re-knit stitches quite a few times to fix the problems, but it worked out. So the other 2 projects that I took to Michigan, I started the kerchief, which was also from Sydney, and I got halfway, got to where I was doing the short row shaping, and I just realized that I didn't love it. And the yarn that I was using, I really love, and I want it to go in a project that I'm going to love and want to wear as much. And the kerchief just was not that. It was not that. So I ended up ripping it out. I also did not start my Technicolor cardigan, which is the Carmen Miranda twin set. Yeah. Okay, we'll edit that out. Excuse me. My allergies are not happy right now. I did not even start that. That's also from Sydney. I will get around to it. But, so one thing that I started before we left is a we're in crochet, a crochet project, and it is, I don't know what it's a 1950s crochet blouse. There's no name on it. It's free online. It's on antiquecrochetpatterns.com. I can't remember what this is called. There is an actual name for it, but I don't remember what it's called. I did start that, but I didn't get too far, mainly because this is done with thread and a 1.72 mil hook, but I got a little bit going. I really love the shell stitches that it's doing. Again, I haven't really gotten too far. The thread that I'm using for this is Aunt Lydia's Crochet Cotton 10 in the color Peacock, I think. I don't remember. I had to order more because I only have one ball of this thread, so I ordered more, and I'm pretty sure it was Peacock something. But that project is in progress. Not a lot on it. I'm not really rushing to do it. Another project that I started while we were in Michigan is this little lace edging, crochet lace edging. It's just done with little like granny clusters, and then there's a little edge on it. I got this, it's a size 10 crochet cotton. I don't remember the brand. I got it in Michigan, but it's a fun color, and I'm just doing it to add edging. I was thinking it would be cute on a dress, but it might be a little much. But it was just fun, something fun to start. I don't have the hook attached to it. I just have a little stitch marker holding it. Okay, the next project I started when we got back from Michigan. I just wanted something simple. Seeing as I was in pain, I didn't want to really think about anything. I wanted something simple, and I had 3 balls of this Lion brand mandala sparkle. I got this a while ago. I don't know from where. It might have been Joann's, but it's Lion brand, so you know, they're everywhere. I decided to start a blanket. It'll probably end up being a baby blanket because I only have 3 skeins of it, but this is what I have so far. I absolutely love these colors, and it is, if you can see the sparkle in it. So I'm not really following a pattern. This is just like a star blanket. I've done a couple of these in the past, so I knew what I was doing. I'm sure at one point I followed a pattern when I've done it before, but not for this one. And I'm just going to keep going around and around. I've finished one ball. I have about half of the second ball, and then I have the third ball in the living room. So it'll probably end up being a baby blanket. But I really love these colors, and it's just turning out so gorgeous. And for this one, I am using a 5.5 mil or an I crochet hook. Usually blankets call for an H, but I'm a tight crocheter, so I usually go up a needle crochet hook size when I'm crocheting. So my last knitting project is with this yarn. It is Lion Brand Wool Ease in the color Umber. I've used this yarn before. I have a bunch more of it, and I have started this I did not look this up. The Sauna cardigan by Rebecca Clow or Crayabea here on Instagram, or here on YouTube and on Instagram. I have gotten to the point where I need to start the lace work, but this has just been a quick, fun little crochet. I'm doing the size bigger than what I would normally do, bigger than what she calls for the ease, just because I want it a little bit oversized. But for right now, I just have the ribbing on the bottom and the garter ridge bump done. So that is all the knitting that I have. I don't really have, or knitting and crochet, I don't really have any big plans just to work on those. Since we got back, I haven't really been wanting to knit or crochet as much. Crocheting mostly I have been doing just because I've been working on that blanket and it's been fun and simple. But I don't really have any big plans. So we're gonna move on to cross stitch. So for cross stitch, I adopted 2 whips, and I also adopted 2 finishes. We'll show the finishes first. These were not stitched by me. My grandma had a bunch of cross stitches sitting in a box. My aunt thought maybe she had made them a long time ago. Possibly somebody else in the family, but I really loved this. I love the old red barns. You see them a lot in Michigan. I love those old barns and the field, and it's stitched as a clock. I'm gonna get the clock gears and everything and actually turn this into a clock, because I think it'd be super adorable. But I really love how this one turned out. I don't love how this one turned out. I love how this one looks. I think this is like an 18 count from what I can tell, but it's turned out, it is so pretty, and I definitely want to turn it into a functioning clock. So the other one that I decided to take is this absolutely adorable little raccoon and snail. These both need to be washed. They've got stains and they're kind of grimy from years, but I absolutely love this. I love raccoons and I love snails. So I plan to wash this one and the clock and finish this one off too. Just thinking about looking for a round frame to put this in. If I can't find one that I like, then I'll just put it in a hoop. But it is so gorgeous. There are people outside my window. Hopefully you can't hear them talking. That's so cute. And I was excited to adopt these finishes and turn them into something. Okay, so the other projects that I adopted, these are actual in progress projects. And one of these I had a friend message me, and her mom used to cross stitch years ago. However, where is the picture? She got out of it a long time ago. She got rid of most of her stuff, but she had hung on to this one and was cleaning out her attic and decided that she wanted to get rid of it. So my friend messaged me and said, would you like to adopt it? And I said, absolutely. This is a super cute little patchwork quilt row. So all of this is cross stitched, and then it comes with the little fabric squares to make these little patchwork square, or yeah, triangle square things. She had not gotten very far on this one, and I think she had planned to eventually work on it, but she just started the center quilt block. I was more than willing to adopt it, and I really like the way it looks. It's super cute. It's definitely an older fashion cross stitch, which I don't normally like, but I love quilt blocks. So that was awesome. She also had a little project bag that it was in that she sent me with it too, and I like this. It's adorable. I don't have project bags for my cross stitches. They're mostly in Ziplocs. So okay, and then the other one I adopted, I found at a resale store, so like a thrift shop in Michigan while we were visiting. Please, neighbors. Okay, I hate my neighbors. For some reason they're outside screaming. I have no idea why. Anyways, I found this at the little resale store. It's these absolutely cute horses. Wow. These horses. So it actually comes, the kit actually came with the matting, and the project is already a good chunk of the way done. The person that started it has finished most of the big, probably the mom horse, and then there's a little bit of the baby horse, plus there are these shadows in the background. I don't normally love horses. I'm not really a horse girl, but I thought this was cute, and I also didn't want to leave it behind. I saw it sitting in the craft section at the resale store, and I really just wanted to finish it. And it's something that I will probably gift, because I'm not gonna end up putting it on my wall, but I will plan to finish it and give it to somebody. I have a couple of people in mind that I might give it to. So, but I wanted to adopt it and finish it someday. It'll go in my massive pile of stuff I need to finish. And someday I will finish it. My next two cross stitches are for the Ink Circles Round Robin that I'm doing with a group on Instagram. I have two pieces. We had a bunch of 4 quadrant cross stitches, and then a couple people chose 12 quadrant ones that everybody in the group could work on, because there's 12 of us in the group. So This one is Another Year Creeps By. It's by Ink Circles. That is the pattern. So I am the first person to stitch on it other than the lady that is going to be the owner. Her piece. She did this piece. I have been working on the border. The border is finished and I've started on the inside. I am doing this block right here. This one's been super fun. It's actually super cute, and I have actually been doing this one on Pattern Keeper because I love this pattern so much that I bought it for myself, and eventually I will do it myself. This is a fabric. Hang on. The fabric is from Mystic Fabrics. It is a 32 count Lugana, and these are the colors that she picked for them. They're all gorgeous. There's Classic Colorworks. There's a bunch of other ones. They're all absolutely beautiful. This is my first time really working with specialty flosses. I don't usually buy specialty flosses just because I have expensive hobbies and I try to make cross stitch not be one of them. But these are absolutely beautiful, and I love the variegation that it's getting. You can see all of these leaves are done with the same color. It's just they look different because of the variegation. There's also variegation in the color, the bat's color and everything. But I'm having fun stitching on this. However, the stitching is going kind of slow just because I sit when I cross stitch, but I'm gonna start stitching standing up because my butt hurts and I need to get working on that because I also have another one, and this one needs to go on to a whole bunch more people in the group, so I really need to get moving on it. Let me put this pattern in here so it doesn't get lost. So the other one that I have is a 4-piece Ink Circles, and it is Swimming with Scissors. This is their newer one. I also own this one, so I've also been I also plan to do it in Pattern Keeper, but hang on, I had put it in the hoop but I have not stitched on it yet. This one came while I was gone in Michigan, so I haven't actually stitched on it yet, but it is so pretty. The piece that I will be doing, the section that I will be doing, I will actually be finishing this one off, and I'll be working down here, and I will finish this one off for the girl that this one belongs to. But this is so pretty. I love it. I love all the little crochet hoops, the scissors, everything. Plus I love octopus, so I had to buy it when it first came out, which works because then I can do good Lord, I can do it in Pattern Keeper. That's what I'm trying to say. So I believe she's using the, yeah, there's all the DMC colors. So I believe that she is using all of the DMC what's it called? Conversion. She's doing the suggested DMC conversion. And I don't know what this fabric is. It looks, whoops. I think it's probably a 28 count, 36 count, I don't know. It does not have a tag in the bag. And but this will be my next project, and she sent it in these cute little bags from Amazon, I think, which I have some of these on the way for me because I would really like to transition out of using Ziplocs all the time for my cross stitches. Okay, so my next project is a stamped cross stitch. Now, here's the thing. I have always wanted to do a stamped cross stitch, especially because you don't have to count, it doesn't require much focus, any of that. And with my butt being broken, being in pain, not wanting to think, this has been perfect for me to work on. So I went on Amazon, which if you're going to buy a stamped cross stitch, be incredibly careful because there are a lot of rip-off copyrighted things that have been ripped off on Amazon. I ordered a few and I did reverse image searches, tried to make sure that they weren't cross stitch patterns from an actual designer and somebody else. These ones all seem to be diamond painting ones and didn't seem to have an actual artist. So hopefully I didn't buy rip-off kits, but it's really hard to buy stamped cross stitch because of the rip-offs. So the one I got is this little yin yang dragons. I guess I'll show you this. It's the extra pattern. There's no way you could actually use it, but the kit came with all the flosses and 2 needles and then the printed fabric. This is 11 count fabric, and I've done a lot on it in the last week, just because it's been super simple. It's easy to hold in my hand and stitch while I'm standing up, and like I said, doesn't require counting, doesn't require thinking at all, which is amazing. So you can tell where I've done all of the black, which I've done a good chunk of black. I've been slowly peppering in the black that's inside, but I've also done pink in here and white in here, which it looks yellow, but that's just because of the yellow print underneath. But I've been slowly working on this. Honestly, it hasn't been that slow because I've been focusing on this a lot. Just because, again, I don't have to think. I don't have to count. And, but it is so pretty. It's going to be so pretty when it's done. I'm sure it's not going to be as clear as like full coverage pieces that I buy from Tilton Crafts, Thread Geeks, Heaven and Earth, Unconventional Cross Stitch, you know, all of those. It's not going to be as nice, but it's something to keep me crafting, something that I'm able to do when I'm in pain, when I am standing. I'm just not feeling good. My son just sneezed very loudly. Hopefully you can hear that. His allergies are also messed up. Okay, so that is all of the cross stitch. I'm going to move on to all of the sewing that I did in June. Honestly, I didn't do a lot. I did a lot of cutting patterns, cutting fabric. I did some sewing that I haven't finished, but the actual finished projects I did not do a lot of. So the first project that I did are these pants. They are the pearl pants from Swoop Style Patterns. They're wrinkly. If I was a better YouTuber, I would have ironed them. But they're a wide leg, high-waisted pleated front, and the zipper is on the back. And my zipper's a little uneven, but you know what? I don't care. The fact is they work. So I really love these. I like the size that I picked, and they fit really good until I put the waistband in. Once the waistband went in, they got a little bit tighter. But I think I'm definitely going to make these again, but I think that I will probably not grade. I will probably use the size bigger on the waist and then grade it down to this same size on the hip. But I really love the way these turned out. I don't know if I have a picture of me wearing these yet, but I love them. They turned out so pretty. If I don't have a picture, sorry, I will get pictures later on of me wearing them. But they turned out super cute. I love wide leg pants. These are extremely wide-legged pants, but they look beautiful. This is a, don't know what kind of fabric it is. I'm terrible with fabrics. Sorry. But I got it from the closeout sale at Joann's. I got a bunch of fabric at the closeout sale, and this was one of them. Turned out gorgeous. So the next thing that I sewed, so a couple months ago, I made the vintage shirtwaist dress from Sew Over It. And I made the longer sleeve version. I had cropped the sleeves. This time I made the sleeveless version. I used a store-bought sleeve binding, or store-bought binding, because I didn't want to make my own. My facing is all bleh. It needs to be ironed. I just washed this because I wore it in Michigan. I just washed it, so I have not ironed it since. I added pockets. That is not in the pattern for some reason, even though this is a modern pattern based on a vintage pattern. There was no pockets, which no. So I added pockets. I also added length because I did notice with my other shirtwaist dress that I made, it's just a touch too short for me. I just wanted a little bit more length, so I added a few inches to the bottom. I will insert a picture. I know I have some of me wearing them because I did take this to Michigan with me, which actually you can see my tan line right here from the day that I wore this and got seriously burned. I am epically pale and got seriously burned. I also burned my back, but that was a different day in a different dress. But I wore this to a family reunion barbecue, and I really like the way this turned out. This is a cotton fabric that I got at Michael's. I really liked it because it screams jungle summer summer patterning, and I really love the way this one turned out. This the Sew Over It vintage shirtwaist fits me really good, and I enjoy wearing it, and it's semi-flattering on my body. So the next thing that I made, were actually a pair of ready-to-wear shorts that I've had for a couple years. They were actually my favorite pair of shorts, but my body's changed. I have gained some weight, and there was a serious camel situation going on when I wore them. If you catch my drift, I'll put a picture in right here of what they looked like before. So I decided to update them, make them a little bit bigger, and also make them a little bit more fun. So I asked my son for help because we both love the Grateful Dead, and I had this Grateful Dead quilting cotton that I got at Joann's quite a few years ago, and we decided to have some fun with my pants. So this is them now. I added, so basically the side seam ripped it out on both sides, added the Grateful Dead fabric. I also, one thing that I really disliked about these shorts was they had a fold over cuff, but it wasn't tacked down, so it tended to roll out and look weird. So I just went ahead and tacked it down, and I used the same blue thread that I used throughout. I did some zigzag stitches. I kind of just threw my sewing machine at it. Just, I don't know how to explain it, but I didn't specifically want it to look amazing. Like, I didn't want them to look store-bought anymore. I wanted them to look funky and look like me, and they definitely do. So I added some little embroidery thread here, and then I have these fabric markers. I believe they're tulips. I believe I got them on Amazon in a huge pack, but I let my son go ham on these, and I am absolutely in love with the little Grateful Dead bear, koala bear that he did. There's also some running stitches, I don't know, embroidery on them. I didn't do much. It was just kind of my own thing, and I really love the little mushrooms that he did. But I love these. They turned out great, and they fit me so much better. I actually wore these on our trip up north, and I wore them when we drove up, and I hiked Castle Rock. Well, didn't really hike Castle Rock. If you're from Michigan, you might know this. It's stairs. It's so many stairs. I'll put in a picture. But I hiked Castle Rock with my son. We climbed Castle Rock, and these they were perfect for the day. Also, we went to the Sioux Locks up in Sault Ste. Marie, which is on the St. Mary's River, and the St. Mary's River separates Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan with Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. So I got to wear these for watching the boats, but I really love the way these turned out. And I have a couple other pairs of shorts that I definitely want to do something like this on, but I really love that I got to take these pants, these shorts that I had loved for so many years, and rework them into a pair of shorts that I will love for so many more years. And they're definitely me. They're definitely my style. So the next thing I made, oh please, allergies. So the last thing I made before we went to Michigan, I made specifically to go to one place. So I love pickles. Pickles are amazing. I eat them way too often. And there was a place in Grand Haven. There is a place in Grand Haven, Michigan. And it's called the Toasted Pickle. We went there. We drove down there we drove over there with my grandma. We took my grandma and we went down. We got sandwiches, and they come with a quarter of a pickle on top, you know, like the slice quarter. And then my son and I both got big dill pickles on the side, which was just a massive pickle. But because I knew we were going to go there, I wanted a pickle themed outfit. And I have a pair of earrings that are pickle jars, and I have socks that are pickle themed. So I decided I needed a skirt. So this is a flannel fabric that I got from Joann's during their closeout sale. And I do not remember what pattern I used for this. I believe it was a free pattern for a just A-line skirt with pockets. I will put the pattern name over here. I love this fabric. As soon as I saw it at Joann's during their closeout sale, I knew I had to buy it. And I actually have more left. So I will probably make something else out of them. I don't know what. I might make a blanket for my dog out of it because it is a flannel. My dog also loves pickles, which is weird. But this was a super quick sew. I did an exposed zipper on the back. I don't remember if the pattern called for a lap zipper or an invisible zip. I opted for an exposed zipper just for fun. But yeah, this turned out super cute. It is short. So I did wear a pair of leggings with it. I was going to wear a pair of tights, but the tights that I brought to Michigan, I wore one day, and they were cutting into my thighs so bad. They were my size, and they fit perfectly except for at my thighs. And they were cutting in, and I was not going to wear those the second day, especially because when we went to Grand Haven, we walked out on the Grand Haven lighthouse pier, and that's a good walk, and I did not want to be walking in tights that were trying to kill me. So I bought a pair of leggings at, I think, the dollar store, and wore it with this because, like I said, it is short. And I think if I think I would definitely make this skirt again because I do like the A-line of it. However, I would make it with a better, more skirt or more, you know, clothing appropriate outfit, just because this is flannel. It's not really clothing fabric. Then again, I don't really always use clothing fabric, but I would add length to it, especially in the butt, because I have a little bit of a butt, and it makes things that are even at the hems a little bit higher in the back. So this one, like I said, I had to wear leggings because there's no way I would be able to move, bend over, do my normal things without flashing people. So again, I will put the pattern name. Hopefully I've already put it, but this turned out cute. Again, I wore it, or I made it specifically to go to the Toasted Pickle, and I don't know that I'll ever wear it again, but it's fun. It's cute. I will keep it. And maybe someday I will have a reason to bring out my pickle skirt, but you know, who knows? So that's all I've got. That's all I've got to show today. I'm hoping to get another episode out within a couple weeks. I do have those 2 round robin cross stitches that I need to get done. I have sewing projects that are, if you can see right here, there are 2 dresses that are nearly done. They just need a couple more things done, so I'd like to get that done. And I don't really have any major plans for knitting or crochet. Like I said, I'm just going to do what I find keeps my interest, what keeps me happy, and what keeps me off my butt as much as possible. I've been doing a lot of more baking than normal just because I can just stand there and do it and not have to put weight on my butt. So anyways, that is all I have for today. It was a pretty long episode. I am also a little bit sweaty. It is annoyingly warm in here. So I'm gonna go and probably do some cross stitching. But I will see you in the next episode. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, please go to thumbs up. If you'd like to see more of my content, hit subscribe. And I will see you next time. Bye.